Welcome back. I'm Kel-Tec Lover and I'm still working on this Glock 30 SF. In previous videos I showed you how to do a trigger job on this gun, showed you how to do some swap out the floor plates on the magazines and stipple them to match, as well as white out the letters on it, and we installed a pocket clip. In this video I'm going to show you how to install the Siderlock trigger safety on this gun. And I'll go ahead and pan down here so you can get a look at it. Here we are. Of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to make sure that the gun is unloaded. Go ahead and remove your magazine, pull your slide back, and make sure that there's nothing inside of it. Go ahead and drop your slide down, squeeze the trigger, drop it back just a little bit, and the slide comes off. Now, we're not going to be dealing with the slide there, so we're going to go ahead and set that aside. And then we're going to start working on the frame. I've got these blocks here. Go ahead and set up these blocks so I can easily trigger these pins out. Just take a punch, push this pin right here out. That one pops out. I'm going to set all the stuff right here so that you don't lose track of it. This one might need a little friendly persuasion. And of course, the last but not least, you're going to go ahead and remove this trigger pin in order to get that out of there. Now, the easiest way I found to do it is go ahead and flip up your slide lock, and you're going to manipulate your slide lock in order to drive that pin out. There shouldn't be a whole lot of tension on it. There you go. And it pops out just like that. And you'll have 3 pins. Once you do that, you're going to remove the slide stop, and then you're also going to remove this block. And then the only thing left to do is we're going to go ahead and pull this assembly here out. We're going to set the frame aside right there. Move this stuff over. Now, of course, to take the transfer bar here loose from the block right here, all you do is you're going to take it and pull it out and kind of give it a little rock. And it'll come out like that, and then you'll see the spring. And you're just going to hold on to your spring there and take it loose. Now, your next step is going to be to actually drive this pin out in order to separate the trigger from the transfer bar. And for that, I'm going to use this actual Siderlock kit. This is the Siderlock trigger mechanism. Go ahead and open up the little baggie. And inside here, you're going to have your trigger, you're going to have a punch, and a little barrel that you can use to drive the pin out of the factory trigger. Line up your punch right there on that pin, and you're going to give it a swift blow, and it's going to knock that pin out. And also, it's going to probably knock a little plug out of the other side of the trigger right there, as you can see. Now, this trigger can be reused, but these things have got a blind hole in them, and you can see that it knocks out a chunk out there. That's not really that big a deal. I mean, this trigger could be reused if necessary. But there's your transfer bar. It's now it's clean and it's ready for the installation of the Siderlock. When you get these Siderlocks in, this is it right here. You can see how that functions. The button, depending on which side you want it to engage and disengage in, is all up to you. If you set it in the gun like this right here is disengaged. Push the button and it's engaged. The actual locking tab here, unlike the actual Glock trigger, this little locking tab right here is made out of metal, which is really nice to have. And compared to the factory trigger, It's actually a little heavier duty trigger overall. It's actually a little better quality trigger than what Glock puts in there from the factory. Now, if you want to swap this this button around, it's real simple to do. I'll go ahead and do that because for my application, I like to disengage on the other side. All you do is drift that pin out. Pull this part here out. Make it easier said than done. There it goes. And then the only thing you're going to need to do is go ahead and push the button out. Like so. Now these buttons do come silver. I had the very ends of this thing Duracoated so that it'll match the gun and make it look a little better. Once you're finished getting it out, all you have to do is determine which side you want it to engage and disengage in, and I want it to engage right there, so I'm going to go ahead and install that like that, so that way it'll be engaged and disengaged. Then I'm going to go ahead and put my stop back in there. And when that's done, you can see that that trigger is locked. Press the button and I'm able to operate it. Now this trigger is made a little different than the original factory trigger, so we can't install it on the transfer bar just yet. This trigger will actually have to go in from the bottom. Now one of the other things you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go ahead and drive out this top pin. We'll go ahead and do that right now. And that way we can install it. Once we're to this point here, we can go ahead and reattach the block here, just like we took it off. Like so. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and reinstall that back down inside the gun minus the trigger, because the trigger's got to go in next. Don't put a pin or anything in it because you're going to need to slide this trigger up underneath. And we're going to need to line this transfer bar up like that so it goes down inside there like that. Then we can go ahead and anchor this. And then the only thing left to do is line up the pin right there. And this is where it gets kind of tricky. I recommend taking the pin and at least getting it started. Once you get it all lined up, make sure that it's in there. Just make sure you center your pins up like that. Now the trigger's installed. At this point in the game I can go ahead and center up the this little pin right here. Make sure that's centered. I can go ahead and put my block in. That'll go in like just like that. And we can go ahead and put in go ahead and stick this pin here. Block here. We're going to go ahead and line everything up. Should pretty much slide in there. And you're going to leave it out just a little bit, just like that, so that you can get your slide stop in there. Past that. Now we can go ahead and install the slide stop. And again, you're gonna be looking down like this and looking down in the hole, and then you can go ahead and push it home until you hear it click. Oop, that one didn't click. There it went. There you go. Now your slide stop works, your safety works, and your trigger works. Now you've got your block pin. You're going to go ahead and start it in. Easing it in until you can see it through the inside of there. You go. Now once you see it coming through there, you're going to see this piece of the spring right here. This portion of it right here. This is the slide stop spring. That slide stop spring is going to ride underneath that pin like that. Then you can go ahead and push the pin in. And we're going to go ahead and center everything up. Check here and make sure everything's centered. Go ahead and give it a check for function. There you go. You could go ahead and install your slide at this point. Check your function. Push your safety, and it doesn't disengage. Push your safety, disengage. Safety, disengaged. Safety. So see how it works. Now pull your draw, pull it up, and you can fire the weapon. That's all there is to it to install a Siderlock trigger safety. We've done numerous mods to this gun, and there's only a couple of little small items left. I'm going to go ahead and show you those real quick, and then we're going to go out and we're going to actually shoot this, because we've been into this gun and we've tore it completely apart. We want to go ahead and do a final check and make sure that it functions properly. And this is the final result. Well, nearly the final result. One other thing that needs to be done to it, and I told you I was going to go ahead and install this plug in the back of this grip. Unfortunately, nobody manufactures a plug for the newer model Glock 30 SF. So I had to actually modify, or actually make this one. I made this one, then it had it Duracoated. And it goes in just like that. I'll have to put a couple of dots of RTV in it to make it stick in. But you can see that it fits in there quite nicely. And that's how that fits. Gives you a nice clean look. And there is one other mod that I'm going to make. I said that I was going to make this my bedside companion, and I meant it. I picked up this little light from Walmart, and there it is. That is a completed product. Gives you a nice bright light. You've got all the mods that you necessary to need. The only thing it's missing is a laser sight, and I'm not even going to put a laser sight on that. So what do you say? Let's go out and shoot this thing, guys. This is where it's going to pay off. I've got my weapon loaded, and I'm fixing to do a test fire. This is the first rounds that I've actually fired out of this weapon since I've done all the work to it. If I've done my job correctly, then I should have a good, dependable weapon that'll last me for the rest of my life. first magazine that I'm going to be firing is actually going to be just a test fire, and then I'm going to actually do a rapid fire to see how well it performs. So let's see how it works. I'd say that's a success. So I'll go ahead and drop that magazine there. Let's do a rapid reload. Try this again. I'd say I did a good job, and I think I'm going to be real happy with this weapon.